Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. Today we've got a foundation review for you, and it is with the new Givenchy Prisme Libre Skin Caring Glow. I'm pretty sure I said those first two words wrong, and that's okay. So as always with any of my foundation reviews, we're gonna do a full day wear test, a minimum of 8 hours, maybe longer. We're also gonna be doing some flash photography to see how it looks when we are going to be taking flash photography. And of course, I'll be showing you a demonstration, sharing my thoughts, and then of course, my thoughts at the end of the day and my recommendations for skin type and also shade range. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I really appreciate you taking time to watch it. And if you are new to my channel, I hope that you will consider subscribing to my channel, because we'd love to have you join the Glam Girl Squad. And let's just get right into this video. So like I said, we are reviewing the new Givenchy foundation. And first of all, love this packaging. Glass bottle. It has a pump that goes with the bottle, but I like just how chic and fancy and luxury this looks. On the back side of the bottle, it just says Givenchy, and I purchased the shade 5N345, and I kept going back and forth between 5N335 and 345. And when you see me apply the foundation, initially I felt like after application, it started to look a little orange, if you will. The description of this shade is going to be the 5N345 is going to be tan with neutral undertones. And so the difference between 5N335 and 5N345 is that the 335 shade is a balanced neutral. And so I feel like after applying concealer and powder, I've definitely balanced out this shade. So I don't know yet if I want to particularly switch the shade, but if you are similar in complexion to me, depending on your undertone, if you are more like a pinky neutral base or like a warm neutral base, then I would say you might err between 335 and 345. But in a nutshell, I think I did pretty okay with shade match. Okay, so some details about this foundation. This foundation does retail for $49. It comes in a total of 30 shades, and we get 1 fluid ounce or 3 mLs of product. This particular foundation, like in terms of the shade range, I think it's okay. We've got a shorter range of shades in the deeper complexion category than we do compared to the fair and medium. So definitely could be, that shade range could be improved, but there are 30 shades, which is nice. Just wish they would have diversified the amount of light to medium shades that they offered so that they could offer more tan to deeper complexions. It doesn't also look like they have a ton of undertones. So there's neutral, rosy, we got a couple of warm, and we've got some cool. I definitely feel like they put in more neutral undertones to hopefully accommodate shade ranges, maybe so that they wouldn't have to create more shades to have more shades. But in this case, I don't know if that was the best choice. I think they definitely need to do a little bit more work on the shades and maybe invested the time and money to create more shades so that they could offer, you know, the appropriate undertones for people. Neutral's not going to work for everyone, and that's just that. So shade range definitely needs to be improved in my opinion. Some highlights of this foundation: it is silicone free, alcohol free, the packaging is recyclable. It claims to have 12 hours of hydration, 24-hour long wear foundation. We'll get more into that. It has a radiant finish, and there's a light coverage that is supposed to be buildable. So this particular foundation is going to also have glycerin from plants that's going to provide up to 24 hours of hydration to the skin. Nasturtium extract, forgive me if I pronounced that word wrong. It provides up to a 12-hour glow to the skin. And then the oil that is within this particular foundation does come from coconuts, and that's going to comfort the skin. This foundation does have fragrance in it, and the fragrance is going to fall probably around the middle of the ingredient list. When applied to the skin, you can smell it, but it's definitely a light fragrance in my opinion. It's not anything that lasts on the skin, and it's also not anything that's going to be, you know, very strong out of the bottle. So I don't think the fragrance is too much. I'm 37 weeks pregnant, and I am pretty sensitive to smells now. since I am pregnant. And to me, the scent, I smelled it and then it was gone. And so it wasn't too much of a problem. So in application, let me just say, I was so here for the finish. Radiant Glow is such a beautiful set of words to describe this foundation once applied to the skin. So for my base, the only thing that I used was the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Serum Elixir, and that was because I had done another video taking off my makeup for that, and so I needed something to add a little bit of hydration to the skin. So I let that sit in so that it wasn't overly dewy, and then after that I went in with this foundation. So that particular serum is more so to hydrate the skin, but it's not gonna refine pores or anything like that. So when I applied this particular foundation to the skin, I love the radiance. I felt like my face looked fresh, and I also felt like, and I'm definitely gonna try this, not in this video obviously, but in another one, I felt like after I applied the foundation, I was like, I could literally be out, like apply the foundation, maybe add a little bit of like cream blush, maybe a little cream bronzer, and be out the door. Like, not even have to set it. My skin type is more normal, so I don't think that obviously would work if you had oily skin. You would probably always want to set your foundation, but I felt like it was a radiant finish without it looking excessively dewy. Like, I did not feel the urge to have to set it, which I think, you know, just off first impressions, I was here for it. I did go ahead and set my face though, because I did put under eye concealer on. I went with my tried and true YSL Touche Éclat. And then I used the new Tatcha powder as my setting powder for the under eye area, around my nose, and in my T-zone area. I also applied a little bit of the powder here, but I left this portion of my face without powder. And then I added a little bit of bronzer, so that's what we have on the face. So I have had this foundation on for a little over 3 hours, and I am truly enjoying how things are looking on the face. As you can see from the demo, I think it just glided over the skin really well. I liked how it did sink into the skin, and like I said, it just really left the skin looking healthy and glowy without looking dewy. And so I was very happy about that, because to have 12 hours of wear along with 24 hours of glow, I was like, I wonder how this is gonna work out. And so far, I think it's working out really good. I did have my mask on today for about, I would say for about 40 minutes. And I'm gonna get it a little close to see if you can see it. If you look right here, yeah, right here, you can see my mask line right there. There was transfer on my mask, so it's not transfer proof. It wasn't a ton of transfer, but there was transfer. But I don't really see a mask line on this side of my face, but like I said, I do see it like right along here. So just something to point out. In terms of my smile line right around here, let me try to come in a little closer, got this belly. But in terms of my smile line right here, I don't think it's settling too much. Slight settling around here, but nothing that I feel accentuates my smile line. And once again, I'm kind of impressed, because I'm like, okay, radiant dewy foundations, they tend to move around the skin if you don't really set them. And I'm happy that after talking for a few hours, I've eaten as well, and I made sure to not like wipe all over my mouth. This smile line is still looking nice and intact. I do see my pores, so I'm gonna come in a little closer so you can see. Right around my nose, I didn't use a pore filling primer, and I do see my pores right around my nose. So for me, I'll just go in with a pore filling primer next time, just to conceal those pores a little bit. But I also don't feel like my pores look overly accentuated either. Like when I look in the mirror and I get up close, I don't feel like I'm like looking at the holes in my face. And sometimes, depending on the foundation, my pores can look more exaggerated or not. So I feel like for this one, if you do have larger pores that you do like to conceal, just go ahead and use your pore filling primer and you should be good to go. If you don't have an issue with pores, you have nothing to worry about. But in terms of everything else, I am here for this face and really for this foundation. The description said that the formula was buildable, so I'm sure you've already seen it by now. In the demo, I did apply some more foundation around my freckles just to see how it builds, because that's just the easiest way for me to see if it's buildable. I think it's buildable to maybe medium coverage. Because the coverage is going to be light. So I feel like for this foundation, the best way to probably wear it is just for like a nice light to medium, maybe medium coverage. But I don't think we're gonna get full medium or full coverage at all from this foundation. And it doesn't claim to, which I'm fine with. When doing flash photography, I felt like there was no flashback from what I could see. So if this were a foundation that you'd wanna wear during times like that, I think you could definitely wear it and be comfortable doing so. And I also thought it looked pretty nice outside in terms of daylight. So I so far am really excited about this foundation. Like I said, I can't wait to share with you my final thoughts at the end of the video and see how this is looking, but so far, so good. So stay tuned. The next check-in will be at the end of the day and I'll share with you my final thoughts. Okay guys, we are back and it's the end of the day. I've had this foundation on for 8.5 hours and I have some thoughts. So let's address what's going on with the face. I'm gonna come in a little closer so you can see things just a little bit closer. So here is what my face looks like after 8.5 hours of wear. We definitely see some dew around the nose. And I would say that my face does have an overall, I would still say there is a radiance to the face, but I don't think that there is excessive dew on the face. I think the dew that we see is going to be concentrated right along here, which is where I normally produce my oils first. And really that's the only place on my face that I really do produce any types of oils. The perimeter of my face, my cheeks, and for the most part, a lot of times my chin doesn't get oily. It's usually in this area. So I'm not shocked to see the oil there. And I'm actually honestly impressed that there isn't dew elsewhere, simply because this particular formula is marketed as being radiant. And when I first applied it to the face, I was like, okay, this is the radiance that I like, but how is this gonna look at the end of the day? So I'm actually really happy with, if I could say, the radiance that I see. I do feel like that with the dew around my nose, we could just touch that up really quickly and this would still look good. So let's test it out. I'm gonna take my Tatcha powder because that's the powder that I originally used to set the face. And we're just gonna apply a little bit right here. And yeah, I think just with that, it gave, yeah. I think just with that, we were able to obviously take the shine away. And if I had to continue to keep wearing this foundation, I definitely think I could. Now, I am gonna come in a little closer because I do see some separation around my nose. And I don't know if that is the foundation or if that's the concealer I use. So I'll come in a little bit so you can see. So right around here and also right around here, when I apply the powder, you can see that there is some separation around my nose. So I'm definitely gonna have to wear this again with other concealers to see, is it the concealer or is it the foundation that's separating? Based on how the rest of my face looks, I'm going to assume that it could be the concealer just because I see the same separation under the eyes. But I don't see it right along here across my face or across my forehead. Now, granted, I don't have as many crinkles around the perimeter of my face as I do my under eye area and also around my nose. So that is something to consider. But like I said, I'll continue to wear this foundation and I'll update you when I am able to wear it with various types of bases and concealers. With my Smile line, I think that looks amazing. Like, I'm so shocked that there has not been excessive pooling of the foundation there. Now, I must let y'all know, I was laying down for a good part of the afternoon. I dozed off a couple times, but I was quite cognizant that I was still wearing foundation. So I tried to keep my face off the pillow. Like, I kind of lay my head like this so my ear's here, but my face was not on the pillow. So I tried to make sure that my face and my face makeup wasn't just kind of everywhere. I'm quite impressed with this foundation, and I'm like extremely happy with it. In terms of the shade, I actually, after wearing it and using my concealer and powder, I actually think I like this shade. I know earlier that I mentioned that I felt like it was a little too orange or peachy on the skin, but I think using the concealer and the powder balanced it out, and I actually like the way that it looks. In terms of who I think this foundation is for, definitely would say this foundation is gonna work beautifully if you have drier skin, normal skin. Hands down, I think you're gonna really enjoy it because the radiance is just, it's so natural looking and so refreshing. I think if you have combination skin and oily skin, I do feel like you can make this work. And the reason why I feel that way is because the way that the perimeter of my face looks, it's not oily at all in my opinion, and you all can definitely tell me if you're seeing something different on camera, but from what I'm looking in the mirror, does not look oily at all. So if you look at my nose, and if you are able to gauge the oils that I produced around my nose compared to how your skin looks, then you can determine, you know, am I comfortable with my whole face potentially looking like that? Or if you have more combo to oily skin, you know, am I fine with just blotting, but I still like to have radiance elsewhere and I just blot wherever it's a little excessively oily. Or if you are a person who does have more oily skin, if you're just like, you know what, I don't want to have to worry about that, then I think use that to help you make your decision. But if you're someone who has combination oily to oily skin and you're like, I'm fine with blotting because I can do a little bit of blotting, but I still have like a nice glow and radiance to the skin without my face looking, you know, excessively oily, I think this could work for you. I really do. But like I said, definitely take into consideration what you like to see on your skin, how you like foundations to perform. But all in all, I'm very pleased with it, very happy with it. I actually cannot wait to wear it again because I think it's beautiful. I'm sitting here talking and I'm like, oh, let me show you the foundation again. I think it's beautiful. I'm so glad I picked this one up. So yes, let me know if you have any questions about this foundation that I did not answer for you. Please leave them in the comment section below. I hope that this review was helpful towards you. And if you made it to this point in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, I highly suggest you considering subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad because we'd love to have you. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.